Morning, students. I hope you are all safe and sound, and I really hope all of you are really going to listen to this new chapter, that is the third chapter called Planning. Yes, we have finished all our notes as well as the explanation for the second chapter. We are moving into the third chapter called Planning. So I just thought, since this is a relatively small chapter, let me do a PowerPoint presentation on this particular chapter. So the topics you will be studying in this chapter, the weightage for the entire chapter is 12 marks. 7 marks is for your answers, that is for your 1 marker, 2 marker, 4 marker, as well as your 8 marker. But as per the board blueprint, you don't have an 8 marker from this answer, but you never know, they will delete a 4 marker or a 2 marker and replace it with a 8 marker also. And another 5 marker, you have a practical oriented question. So the topics I've already mentioned here: meaning of planning and definition of planning, importance of planning, features of planning, limitations, planning process, and types of plans. So today I will complete meaning of planning and definition, importance of planning, and features of planning. Yes, so please open your books and please ensure that you are underlining the points as I am explaining. Now, what is the reason that every business organization needs to plan? In the second chapter, we saw that Henry Fayol and F.W. Taylor had given us certain principles, telling that every organization, big and small, has to use these principles. Now, using theoretical principles is not important. We need to use it into practical scenarios or situations. Now, if we are going to use all those principles into practical, then we have to put a plan into progress. So what are they actually telling us? All business firms would like to be successful. They all like to increase their sales and to earn profit. All managers dream of these and strive to achieve their goals. But to turn these dreams into realities, managers are the ones who need to work really hard, and they are the ones who have to think about the future. That is, in making any business successful. That is, they are the ones who have to stand strong to motivate the employees to achieve the targets and to predict whether there is any danger that will fall on the business. So if the dreams have to be turned into reality, this can only happen if the business managers think in advance. That is, what they have to do and when they have to do and how they have to do things. So you actually see the small diagram that says what, where, when, why, how, and what. So these two people there that I have actually put a small figure are the managers. They have to actually plan and see how they have to put things into action or how they have to decide in advance. So if you actually look into your notes, I've actually given you the meaning of planning, which says it is the basic function and the first function of management. Very true, you already know it. Then what does it say? It is nothing but deciding in advance what to do and when to do and how to do. So these are the question marks which I've actually put there. Here, if you actually see on your PPT slide. So who has to decide? The manager has to decide all these questions so that he will motivate and he'll ensure that things are happening properly. And all this will only happen through planning. So what are they saying? Let it be a big industry, a small industry, that's a business industry. Let it be a government sector. Government sector also makes plans for the next 5 years. Correct, no, all of you know. So even a production plant also makes plans. Even a manufacturing sector also makes plans. Only if planning is there, there will be sales, there will be production, there will be profits that can be earned. So moving down to the next slide. So if you actually go through this is the same thing I have actually spoken. Now the definition I have told you will come for a 1 marker or may come for a 2 marker. Now I have given you the definition of Lewis Allen, but have added another easier definition also, that is management, that is as per Philip Kotler. So the the planning definition as per Lewis Allen is: planning involves the development of forecast. Development means what? You're improvising, you're improving of forecast means what? The manager is looking ahead into the future, which you already know. For what is he looking? All the objectives which has to be achieved. So objectives refers to the word called goals. Then policies means what? Whatever rules and regulations which has to be implemented in the future. Then programs, procedures, schedules, if there's any meetings, if there's any new departments that have to come, all these can only be done through something called as planning. So planning is deciding in present what you need to do in the future. It's a process whereby companies reconcile their resources. Reconcile means what? They think or they check or they see, they forecast with whatever resources they have so that their objectives can be achieved. Now moving down to the second topic, that's the main topic, characteristics of planning. Okay, now there is a YouTube link that you see here. This is a link I actually wanted to add the video here. But I feel it will become too much in case for me to upload. So this link I'll again text it to you or put it in the comment box. You can look up a video on planning also. So what are the features of planning? Now planning in phase focuses on achieving objectives. It is the primary function of management. It is pervasive, continuous and futuristic and decision making. I've always taught you the knack telling that features always comes from the meaning, correct? So your meaning always, your meaning of planning includes stating primary function. It also includes achieving objectives. It also includes looking ahead into the future. It also mentions decision making which the manager should do. It also includes that it is a continuous process and it is pervasive, means it is it's across followed in all business sectors. So if you see, the meaning of planning is what is extracted into the features of planning. Now let's look into the first one. The first one is what? Planning focuses on achieving objectives. Whose objectives are we talking about? We are talking about organizations setting certain objectives, and every plan that is set by the organization, those plans should ensure that they are achieving, that the employees or the management is achieving those objectives or goals. So whatever plan, let it be plan A, plan B, plan C you're setting, that is who's setting, organization is setting, they should ensure that those plans are able to achieve all the objectives. That should be the end goal. Understood? So the second point is planning is continuous. Continuous process means what? You are not following the plan to achieve the objectives just like let's say 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You're planning on a monthly base, you're using it as a year, you're continuously improvising on a plan and you're continuously using the plan to ensure that the organization is able to succeed. Okay, and the organization is also coming out with new plans just to see what will happen, or just to see what will happen if you're using plan B, what will happen if you're using plan C. So what is it? It's not a 1 day process, but it is a continuous process. Third point, planning is pervasive. Pervasive means what? It is followed at all levels of organization and all levels of management, top level, mid level, lower level. It is also followed in business sector, non-business sector, everywhere, every time. Every organization has to plan. Example, I'll tell you, even if you want to plan to sit and study, you have to put a timetable in place. So what are you doing? You discuss with your friends which subjects you're going to study first, which subjects you're going to study later, which chapter you're going to finish today, what notes you're going to complete. What is it? It is a continuous plan. You're not just doing it for 1 day or 2 days, but it is a continuous plan. So the more you do planning, the more you're going to execute your plan into action. So what is it? It's a pervasive function. It is followed at all levels, all departments. It's not a function that is only followed by the top level management. It is followed in all levels. Did you all understand? So the fourth point, what is the meaning of futuristic? Planning is futuristic. Now the word futuristic refers to looking ahead into the future. Okay, so what are you doing? Now let's say this year I wanted to sell, let's say I'm a marketing company who is manufacturing, let's say, cars. So this year I want to sell, let's say, 500 cars. So next year I will plan to sell 1,000 cars or 2,000 cars. So what are they saying? You are looking ahead into the future. You are not stagnant at the same plan. You want to improvise on improving your plan to ensure that you're getting good results, and it is very much effective. So if example plan A does not work, you have to look into plan B. You just cannot have one single plan. So what is it? Planning involves looking ahead, that is what, into the future, and the purpose of planning is to meet future events effectively. So what is the meaning of future events? If there is any loss, how are you going to handle that loss? Even before the loss has occurred, you need to plan for it. If there is a profit, how are you going to save that extra profit that you have made? Okay, if there is, let's say, the employee turnover ratio is high, that means employees leaving the organization is increasing. So how are you going to reduce the employee turnover ratio? All this can only be done by planning. That will only happen if you're going to look ahead into the future. Nobody expected us to be in quarantine like this, right? But still, what are we doing? Your final exams are going to be conducted next year, March. But what are we doing? Are we going to just sit quiet that we are not going to come to college? No. We are still planning, and we are still ensuring that nothing is going to stop us, that notes are going to be completed, assignments are going to be given, and what is that? Classes are going to be taken. Correct, right? So that's a very easy example of planning is futuristic. The fifth point, planning is a mental exercise. The meaning of the word mental refers to your mind. Okay, it is nothing but making use of your mind to think more and more so that you can come out with effective plans or very strong plans. Correct, right? So before, what we used to do, we only used to send notes to the students so that during quarantine period let them write. Then slowly what did we do? We thought, let us teach online, let's use online apps so that we can do teaching more effective. But then we saw that for the class strength of, like, let's say 300 or 200, online apps, that's free apps, can only support around 100 students maximum. So it's not very effective, and most of the time children are so disturbed with their family and with their surroundings, so it's not effective. So we have come up with we are just thinking and improvising how we can teach the children better. Correct, right? So that is what is the meaning of mental exercise. So even in an organization, the organization is also wants to develop more and more or improvise on better plans on how they can improvise their sale, how can they reduce their cost, how can they make their sales very efficient or product very efficient to the buyer. So what is it? It is nothing but application of mind. Please underline intelligence, imagination, and sound judgment. It also requires logical and systematic thinking rather than just guesswork or wishful thinking. That means what? It refers to, again, blind faith. Rather than you just doing a lot of guesswork telling that this plan will work, but are you really using that plan and just seeing, yes, does it work? Yes, it works 99%, but what happened to that 1%? Through that 1% also you can actually end up failing. Correct? So you have to ensure that that plan, if there is a failure in the plan, let's say the plan A is successful 70%, but it is not successful the remaining 30%. So which other plan will you actually use? Or for the 30%, what are you going to do? How are you going to improvise so that your company is not going to end up getting into a loss? So that is what you need to check. The sixth point, planning involves decision making. Now, who has to decide? The top level management has to decide, and they have to take the consent of the mid level as well as the lower level management. Okay, because planning is not a function which is only done by the top level. The top level is doing the planning function, but it has to go across to the mid level and the lower level because they are the ones who are actually doing the job rightfully. So planning involves choices from various alternatives. That is what I said: plan A, plan B, plan C. Okay, if there is only one method of achieving goals for a job, then there is no need for planning. So what are they saying? If you know that this is the one job where only plan A can be used, there is no other plan B or plan C that can be used, then you have to go ahead by using only plan A. There is no need for you to invest time or invest money into it to check if there is any other alternative, if you are 100% sure that there is only one plan. Understood? So coming down to the next topic, that is importance of planning. Okay, before we go to the importance of planning, again we'll do a recap of the features of planning. Planning focuses on achieving objectives. Objectives refers to goals. Goals refers to the organizational goals, which is set by the organization and the management. Planning is continuous. We are not following plans for like 1 day or 2 day. It is continuous for a month or a year, and any improvisation that has to be done will be done on the plans. Then it is a pervasive. That means what? It exists in all organizations, all departments, all levels of organization, and only if there is proper planning, the organization will know how to handle itself and how to improvise on itself. The fourth point is it is futuristic. That means what? Looking ahead into the future. That means what? The risk, the uncertainties, the losses, all these things you need to calculate if you're using plan A. If you're using plan B, you need to know what are the disadvantages or the advantages of using plan B. So like that, you need to decide. You're looking ahead into the future. Then what? Decision making. Again, decision making comes from the manager, and he has to see if there is any other alternatives which can be used for a particular job or for a particular plan, and the best plan has to be implemented. Then the last one is it's a mental exercise. So mental exercise means what? It's an exercise of your mind where you're using your intelligence, your imagination, your sound judgment, and you're ensuring that you are thinking properly and you're not just using your own guesswork. Now coming down to the next topic, that is importance of planning. Now the first look at this diagram. It provides direction. It reduces the risk of uncertainties. Again, decision making is there in your features. Then standards for controlling, promotes innovative ideas, overlapping and wasteful activities. Now coming down to the importance of planning. Now, why is planning so very important is what we have to understand. Okay, you would have seen a lot of films and advertisements how these executives draw plans and make powerful presentations in a boardroom. Okay, but we really don't know if it actually works or if it's really efficient. Okay, after all, they are really planning. So there are a lot of numerous questions which arises, like which plan is the best, or why is planning so really important, whether it provides a lot of direction to the managers, whether it reduces risk of uncertainties by preparing forecasts for the future. So all that is what you would learn in the importance of planning. Okay, so coming down to the first importance of planning, it provides direction. Now, who are we talking about direction? It provides direction basically to the employees as well as to the management. Correct? Now, I'll tell you a small example. You are putting up a timetable. Let's say your college has a timetable saying Monday you have business studies, you have maths, you have accounts. But Tuesday you have some other 3 subjects. Now tell me, from Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, you have a proper timetable that is put into place. Because there is a timetable, you are able to understand, or you are able to keep the books properly in your bag, or you are able to tell that, okay, this day I have this subject, I need to plan on this, I need the teacher is taking this portion, so she is completing. So because there is a timetable in place, only you are able to be judgmental. Otherwise, would you be able to judge which subject you have, which topic the teacher is teaching you? No, you will be a lost sheep. So what is it? The main importance of planning is so that the employees are directed into the right direction, and the manager is able to direct the employees, telling that this is your job, this is your target, you need to achieve your target. So it provides direction by telling us how much work is to be done. This refers to employees as well as the management. And the good objects should be clearly stated to the employees so that they will know how to do their work. That means, what does it refer to? You have to clearly state the objectives to the employees, telling that these are your 100 emails that you need to achieve today. Okay, so that the employees will know what they have to do, how they have to do their job, and they will go about in achieving their targets. If you give them unplanned goals telling that you have 1000 emails to do, they will not be able to do those emails. So you have to first put a plan in place. First you should see whether they will be able to achieve it. Okay, and then you have to ensure that they are able to do their job. Now going down to the second point, planning reduces risk of uncertainty. Uncertainty refers to what? You don't know, it may happen, it may not happen. Like example, if I use plan A in the organization, okay, like let me give you an example. I'm saying, I already gave you this example telling that an employee is working in the shift of 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. The manager is logging in at 12 p.m. Do you really know from 7 to 12 will the employee be working properly? You really don't know. The employee can goof up, she can play around or he can play around, and only after the manager comes, the remaining 4 hours he can actually work telling that my system is not working, I don't know what to do, there are a lot of work for me to do, but from morning my system was not working. So if he is an efficient manager and an effective manager, what he would do? He would make the team leader or the subject matter expert to come in the same shift timing as the employees are coming. That is 7 to 4. So there is someone there who's tracking what the employees are doing in the morning. Like that, every organization has to work. Why? Because every organization, the environment is different. Okay, they're not working in a stagnant environment. They're working in a very dynamic environment. Everything keeps changing around them. Today the employee is present, tomorrow the employee is not there. So in case of the absence of the employee, is there a plan what the other employees have to do, which you should have told well in advance before itself? So what is it? Planning reduces risk of uncertainty. So if there is any risk that is coming up, before itself, have you told the employees how they have to manage that particular job? So every organization has to work in an environment which is uncertain. Uncertain means what? It keeps changing. The risk can come up anytime. You really don't know what you have to do that time. So what will help you? Planning is something that will help you during that period, because your managers kept you well informed what you need to do in those situations. Okay, so planning is something that will help you to reduce the risk. Third point, planning reduces overlapping and wasteful resources. Overlapping refers to the word called duplication of work. Wasteful resources refers to 3 words or 4 words I've told you. Human resources, finance, raw materials, and technology. So what are they telling? If you plan properly, you don't have to waste a lot of time on doing one job. You know that to do this particular job, it just takes you 6 hours. So you can actually sit and you can complete that work in even 5 hours. So the remaining 3 hours or the 4 hours, you can concentrate on developing yourself, on cross-training or getting trained in another project or in another assignment. So what are they saying? The employees have to be well aware of what they are doing, what job they are doing, how they are utilizing resources. So really, is it very important for you to take a printout? Is it really important for you to send an email to somebody else, whereas another person next to you has already sent an email? So it will only cause duplication of work. So what are they saying? Plans help in avoiding confusion and misunderstandings. Misunderstanding between the manager and the employees. It also refers to misunderstanding between the team members. So planning helps to identify the efficiency so that corrective measures can be taken or corrective measures can be followed. So what are they saying? In case there is something wrong that's going, there's an alternative plan that comes into picture, and that will actually help the employees to continue doing their job. So the next one is planning provides innovative ideas. Now, who provides innovative ideas? The manager is the one who has to come up with a lot of innovative ideas in case the plan A, plan B, plan C does not work. Along with the manager, the employees also have to come up with a lot of innovative ideas. Like an example, I'll tell you. In Accenture, I think this is there in most of the companies now, but in Accenture, every year when your let's say when your performance is being evaluated, it is a rule that every employee has to submit 3 innovative ideas. It can be depending on their process, that is whatever job they are doing, depending on that also you can submit ideas, or depending whatever you feel that can be improvised. If you have come up with another let's say another idea which will help the other team members, that also you can. So basically 3 ideas are compulsory for an employee to submit. In that, 1 idea or 2 ideas should be implemented and should be full-fledged. It should be on the go. So what happens, these ideas which will actually help the work to be cut down. So in Excel you see there's a lot of macros and formulas you can actually use. If you use these formulas and macros, a simple job, that is a complicated job of 1 hour, can by the key press of the key like Control R or Control A or Control whatever alphabet you're giving for the macro formula, the entire work will be completed in just 5 minutes. Okay, but this idea submission has to be submitted by someone to the development team or the operational team, and they will take over it and they will see, yes, we can actually do this idea, we can follow this idea, and then the employee will be recognized for that innovative idea that is being submitted. So various companies have come out with this, and they are encouraging a lot of employees every single day to submit a lot of ideas. That means improvising their work. Whatever job can be done in 9 hours, if the employee can do it in 6 hours, that is by using some formulas through Excel or through some other means. If the employee can reduce the work, that will be implemented. So what are they saying? It is a thinking function of management. It does not lie only with the managers and the top level. It also is encouraged by other employees also. The next point, planning facilitates decision making. Okay, decision making, the top level managers are the ones who actually do the decision of how much work should be done, what has to be planned, what work has to be completed. So decision making is a process of selecting the best course of action. Please remember, or please write down, best course of action refers to the plan that you are selecting. Now we have plan A, B, C. Now in these 3 plans, you are evaluating and checking plan A separately, plan B separately, plan C separately. After you check each and every plan, you need to evaluate which is the best plan which can be implemented on the employees. Okay, so planning provides the manager with the guidelines involving the alternate course of action. So the manager very well knows that if plan A is not working, which is the second plan he has to start following. Understood? So the 6th point is planning establishes standards for controlling. Planning facilitates control. It determines goals and standards for every individual. What are they saying? Every individual knows what are the plans that is set by the organization or by the management. According to the plans, they have to start doing their job, because according to the work that they are doing only, their performance will be measured. So this makes it easy to compare the actual performance. I have very well told you in the first chapter, actual performance refers to the employee's performance. Standard performance is set by the organization. So when you are planning itself how to do a particular kind of job, you are setting a standard. The organization is setting a standard. So when you're telling the employees, this is the standard that we have set, 100 emails is a standard that we have set, the employees will try work hard every single day to achieve or complete their 100 emails. So what is the let's say let's take an example of an employee A. So every day this employee A is doing 50 emails, 70 emails, 100 emails, 80 emails, 90 emails. That is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So what happens? But the standard set by the organization is 100. So when the manager, the management is checking the performance of the employee, they will measure the performance of the employee towards the standard that is set. Okay, so it is easy for them to control employees also and tell the employees this is what your performance is based on the standards that is set by the organization. So planning establishes standards for controlling, means standards are set by organization. Controlling is to control the actual performance of the employees. Did you all understand? So by now we completed 3 topics, that is meaning and definition of planning, importance of planning, features of planning. Okay, so these are the 3 topics that we have completed. Importance of planning will come for a 4 marker or it will come for an 8 marker. Features will come for a 4 marker or it will come for an 8 marker. And meaning and definition will come for 1 marker each or it may come for 2 markers. So please ensure you are underlining the words whatever I have paraphrased or told you. Okay, so any doubts, please leave me a comment in the comment box, and it would be really useful if you can type and tell me, ma'am, I have understood the topic. And if you have any doubts, please let me know. So thank you so much, and stay happy and stay blessed.